Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Meredith E. Phillips, and in this little video I have some free templates for you. Somebody asked if I could provide a template like I was using in my last video. I'll link that below. It's the template or the spreadsheet I use to track my queries. And I was like, yeah, sure. And so then I started trying to make it something that other people could use without knowing a whole lot about how it was set up, and I ended up making 3 versions, so you're welcome. They're all on my website. I'll link to the page where you can find them below. Currently they're all the way at the end of that page. So the first template I have here for you is a blank template. There is no math, there's no formulas in this thing. It is just these headings at the top. Pretty much. You can delete columns if you want. You can do whatever you want in here. I have a few little notes in row 3 just to tell you like what you're meant to put in these spots, but you can absolutely do anything you want with this. Change it all around and it won't hurt anything. The second 2 I have are basically the exact same thing. The only difference is one has protected cells and one has unprotected cells. If you don't know very much about Excel and how the formulas work, I would recommend downloading the protected cells because that does this. You can't click in the cells that have formulas in them. You can click over here and you can access the other information. But any cell that has a formula, you won't be able to touch it. You won't be able to mess something up. I'm, for this video, going to use the unprotected cell version so that we can look at the information that's here, but they are identical other than being unprotected. Okay, so these 2 main templates have a lengthy, don't get scared, okay? It has a lengthy instruction sheet. This looks like a lot. And it is a lot, but I promise you the vast majority of these instructions is just copy this and paste it here. That's literally it. So I have a quick introduction to what the different cell shading means. And I do note you need a Query Tracker subscription. It's $25 a year. I don't think you can find a cheaper subscription to anything. And to me, this is so well worth it. Highly recommend if you're a querying writer. And you also need to have some sort of list already curated over on Query Tracker. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to come down to this Agent Data tab, and on this side you've got some wonky looking cells. Don't worry about it. This side here is where we're going to clean up the data once we paste it in here. So you're going to go to Query Tracker and you're going to head over to the Agents tab, and I've set up just a test project here, so we're looking at something kind of random. I decided to narrow this down to fantasy, so that's what I selected from their genre search list. So these are all of the agents that represent fantasy of one kind or another. We're going to leave this clicked full agent list. We're not going to check any of these boxes. We want the filter status to all, and we're going to switch this over to query data. And it's easiest if you also make this all, just so we're getting all of the agents on one page instead of having to click through like 4 different pages of results. So we're going to start here in this query status box, and we're going to just highlight literally everything. This is a long list, but you're going to go all the way down to the very bottom, and you're going to stop the highlights at this, whatever is in this last little corner here. Don't highlight this little note at the bottom. You're going to just do a Control-C. You could also do right click and copy. We're going to come right over here and paste that data, just a Control-V, nothing fancy. And you can see it automatically populates all of the cells on this side. Don't worry that this all looks goofy up here with all these weird cells and this is a mess. Don't worry about it. All of it's fixed right over here. Unless you know what you're doing, don't mess with these formulas or it's gonna goof up other stuff. Double check before you continue that this number here at the top, 412, matches the number here on Query Tracker. Query Tracker is saying there's 412 agents. And so when you copy this in here, you should have 412 agents. So that's part 1. Now we're going to go over to this next tab, Open Agents. This is every single agent that represents fantasy, but not all of them are actually open to queries. So we're going to paste some different data to get that information in here to see who's open and who's not. Okay, back on Query Tracker for this second part, we're going to select Hide Closed Agents. We're going to leave the data view as Query Data. Now we're down to just 218 agents. We're going to do the same thing where we select all of this, or we highlight all of this, we copy it, and we paste it right in this top A1 cell. And you'll get all of your agents listed over here. This again is like the clean data, don't touch it, just leave it alone. All this looks like a mess, but don't worry about it. Now back on this agent data tab, you'll see that this open column is correct. It's saying, is this agent listed over here because these agents are currently open to queries? It'll say yes or no, and it'll give you a tally here at the top. Again, I would recommend checking and making sure that this yes number matches what's on Query Tracker. So we have 218 agents here saying yes in our spreadsheet, and we have 218 agents here in Query Tracker. So if we go over to this blue tab, Agents, this is all of our data, all nicely organized for us. Again, you can double check your numbers over here and up here to make sure that everything is lined up and you're not missing anybody. So let's go through some of these columns, what they mean, what you can add, what you can ignore if you want. These columns in here are the direct copied data from Query Tracker. You can go on Query Tracker if you don't know what this means and get info on each of these. These two columns here are things that I inserted because they were helpful to me. I took an average of how long it takes them to reply to queries, and then I did a reply ranking. This is super subjective, but it was helpful to me when I was trying to make batches of queries to, pick people who responded quickly and maybe avoid people who were super slow. So I have it divided into these categories up here. There are some agents who had no data, like they didn't have this information available for whatever reason. So some of them are just no data, and there's 54 of those, so we can't really rank them based on that. Anybody who had an average reply rate of 10 days or less, I said were speedy. If they had a reply rate between 11 and 30, they're fast. So we have 133 of those here. If they had a reply rate of between 31 and 60 days, I said was like a medium reply rate, and anything over 60 days or 2 months about, I said was slow. You might think differently. If you can figure out the formula here, you can change it, but this isn't super important. It's just sort of general helpfulness. So that's what that is. This section in here is for you to enter basically whatever you want. Any tan cells are just empty, they're blank. You can type whatever you want into them. I had publishers marketplace links, manuscriptwishlist.com links. If the agency had like an about the agent page, I had a link to that here. Some agents had other links, maybe to a Twitter profile that they were active on. Some of them had their own individual websites, blogs, things like that. You could add an additional link here. And then I have a column for just notes. So if you want to remember, ooh, this agent is looking for, enemies to lovers. They love that trope. What a great thing I could add to my personalization, because that's what my book has. Like, you can note that kind of stuff here, whatever would be helpful to you. Next, as we keep going, we've got an opportunity for you to rank the agents. I've talked about this in some of my videos before, but basically I rank them. A-list agents are people that are like dream agents. They have a ton of experience. They're looking for like exactly my book. They seem like a perfect fit. D, or anything below that, it doesn't necessarily mean they're a bad agent. I don't think any of these people are bad agents, but they maybe just don't have a lot of information out there, and I'm just not quite sure what they're looking for. So they might be a D-list agent because I just can't tell exactly what they want. You can go through your list and you can rank the people that you want. So if you give this agent an A, it's going to tally how many A's you have at the top. You can change this if the A through D doesn't work for you. You could change it to like 1, 2, 3. That works too. And then when you put a 1 in here, it'll rank it, or it'll total it up here. Whatever label you put in this orange, in these orange boxes here, that has to be what you use here to tally it. If you say this person is an A, it's not going to tally it because it's looking for a 1. So I'm going to leave it as A, B, C, D. Whoops. Just C, thank you. And that'll tally it up for you. You can leave notes to yourself as to what these rankings mean if you need to. And then of course there's a grand total here at the top that just adds all these up together. After you start querying, there's a column where you can enter the date that you sent them a query. You can enter a date where they sent you a reply, and you can type in what the reply was. Was it a form rejection? Was it a full request? Was it a close no response? Whatever you want to put there. We'll come back to this section in just a second, but I did want to point out there's an added section here at the end. If you had a previous project to the one you're currently querying, and you want to remember, did I query these agents already with a past project? If that matters to you, you can enter that old data in here just for reference. So let's look at this, because this is going to be referencing this agency data sheet over here. This is something new I added this year to my own spreadsheet, and I've found it really helpful so far. Each agency has different rules about, can you query more than one agent at the agency? How long do they tend to take to reply to queries? If they haven't replied, is it a closed, is it, a rejection? What's happening? So this is tedious, but if you want, you can fill in all the various agencies that are represented in your list. I'll show you a quick way to do that in a second. You can enter yes or no to say, after you've started querying, have you queried this agency? Because some agencies is a query one of us and then that's it. You can go on their website and just copy paste their submission rules. A lot of them have that, some of them don't. And then real quick, just for yourself, you can answer these questions. Is it okay to query multiple agents at this agency? And do they have a response time, approximate response time? That data will populate in these cells here and just be another reference tool for you. So if you want to get a quick list, because obviously we've got a ton of people here at this agency that are looking for fantasy, you can highlight all of the agencies listed here, copy it, paste them over here. I like to paste, what do I like to paste here? Paste values, just to get the text. We don't need the formatting. Then you're going to come up here to data and just click remove duplicates. And it'll only then list the individual agencies one time. This section will tally how many agents are at that agency, and all of your information on that agency will be pulled over here from that other sheet. So you don't have to copy it like 3 or 4 times for 3 or 4 different agents. Once you've got all the data populated in here, you can start filtering. You can ignore the agents who are not open. You can filter on how fast they reply. You could filter on your own personal rank. You can filter, there's another interesting one over here, their last query reply. Like if they haven't replied to anybody since before last year, maybe we delete them or, hide them for the moment. So you can play around with that and select who you're going to query first or second or whatever out of this list. Now there is a section here in the instructions tab that talks about this data obviously changes sometimes on a daily basis, but that would be super annoying to have to recopy stuff all the time. And if you need to do new data, what you're going to do is you're going to come back to these 2 sheets here, the agent data and the open agents, and you're going to select all these columns with this data we pasted in here, not the green stuff. Leave this alone, but highlight the stuff that was copied in here previously and delete the whole thing before pasting new data. Do not come on here, click in this box and paste new data over top of this old stuff. Because if the new data only has 414 lines and the old data had more, you're going to have old data down here at the bottom, and that's not good. So delete all this first, one big delete, and then go back to the beginning of those instructions where you paste into these boxes. So that is it. I hope that made sense. Again, these are on my website. You can download them, use them as you see fit. If you have any questions, if you find an error in them, let me know. I'll fix them and re-upload the sheets so that you can use the corrected versions. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. If you watched all the way to the end of this, I'll see you next time. Bye.